Good morning. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to another Think Tank, everyone. My name is Olivier Lewis. If we haven't met, broker owner of the Cranford office. So, good morning, all. Hope everyone had a safe and fun and happy Thanksgiving. We're a couple days away from December, so we're at the tail end of the year, and what you do now really matters for helping set up your next year. So, quick reminder, guys, this Thursday I'm hosting our investor meeting. It's every first Thursday of the month. So, it's going to be this Thursday in Cranford at 10 a.m. It's open to all. We talk strictly investment strategies, how to finance properties, deals. We break down deals, different things around investing. So, if you are interested, please join us this Thursday at 10 a.m. So let's jump into the think tank. Today, we're going to talk about something I read on Inman. It was very short, but very impactful because we tend to step away from the client experience. And the title for the quick article, and I'm going to share it now. Here we go. The title is Platinum is Better Than Gold. Sorry, I got to change the side so I can actually read it. And so I'm going to read it and then quickly discuss it. But platinum is better than gold. The golden rule says to treat others the way you'd like to be treated. But the platinum rule says to treat others the way they would like to be treated. Choose the platinum rule. The platinum rule was popularized by Dr. Tony Alessandra in his book by the same name. Focusing on the client's desires always produces the best results. And I'm going to repeat that. Focusing on the client's desires always produces the best results. Stay focused on their needs, and all your needs will ultimately be met. So it's the client experience. So I love this when I read it because it's going back to how you treat others and the client experience. Everyone provides customer service. We answer questions. We open doors. We do all that stuff. But what's the experience for the client? That's where you make or break the relationships, you convert leads, and you really could differentiate yourself. So very simple, but very impactful when I read that. And that's why I wanted to share and quickly remind everyone how important the client experience is. How you treat your clients will determine your success. And this applies to everything. That's from how you approach leads or opportunities. What's the experience the client's feeling? And it's not necessarily the lead source. It's what experience you're providing the client. If you called, whether it's Realtor, Zillow, Google Ads, whatever it is, if you get a client or an opportunity and your response is just, oh, that property's not available. Oh, I have no idea about the property. That's a terrible experience. So your conversion's probably going to mimic that experience of the clients and be terrible, right? So it's putting the client's needs first, getting them in front of that, getting them to the house, getting in front of them, figuring out what they need, and really focusing on that and not your needs. Same thing with follow-up. Think about the experience you put in the client. How would the client like to be treated on a follow-up? Not just, hey, are you ready to buy? Right? Be helpful. What are their needs? Their needs are buying a home, finding a home, selling a home, whatever it is. Make sure your follow-up is addressing their needs and not yours of I need a listing, and having commission breath. So it's everything you do, dealing with issues. If you're in a deal, if you make it about you, oh, I got to go back to the house to do this. Oh, you need the contractor to come. Oh, that's a headache. Don't be lazy, because that experience will not lead to referrals when the client realizes Olivier is just looking out for himself and doesn't want to go back to the house. Oh, you really need to bring your parents in? You know, this is the biggest check most people write in their life. $500,000 now with the price points we're at. $500,000, again, they're writing a check. If they need a second opinion, or if they need to get a contractor, if they're unsure of something, and you make it about you, like, oh, do we have to do that? That's not the experience that's going to drive a referral and keep them coming back to you. Excuse me. and keep them coming back to you. How you deal with the issues and what experience you put your clients through, even commiserating. House doesn't appraise. There's an oil tank. There's inspection issues. Whatever's going on, attorney's not answering. Lenders not answering. Whatever's going on, if you commiserate and you get down in the weeds with them and down in the dumps with them, that's not a great experience. That's not a great experience. If you took your car to the dealership, said, yeah, I'm having this issue, and the dealer's reaction is, oh my gosh, that's terrible. You're like, what, how bad is this, right? Right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to let them experience the headaches and the pain. I always say, I could be at war behind the scenes, but you're never going to know I'm at war. Right? After the war's over, maybe at the closing table, we could talk about some of the hurdles if you really need to. But the best experience for the client, putting them first and making sure it's as smooth as a process, is what helps you generate referrals and makes you different than the other agents. So what you're focused on should always be the client experience, and if I'm meeting their needs. These are your clients. Without these clients, you do not have a business. So put clients first and look at the platinum instead of the gold. Any questions or feedback on that?
I think the needs of our customers are different now.
Yeah.
They are even more tech savvy than some of the tools that they're getting.
Yep.
So I think our approach to them needs to be different in regards to how we interact with them. Some of them are not, COVID has made them that they're not touchy-feely anymore.
Yeah.
And if you're not interactive, like meeting them where they are, like I got some clients, they won't communicate with me unless it's Instagram.
Yeah.
And the whole thing for Instagram, what about phone call, text? Not happening. So I've just kind of not pushed back on it because I'm trying to get into my CRM, but I just accepted that I just got to meet them where they are in regards to how they want to communicate. They want to do Zoom calls instead of like a telephone conversation. Yeah. So how do I make that experience better? Even with my Zoom conversation, how do I make that experience better before the conversation, during, and after? So it's just kind of figuring out the customer experience at the moment.
Absolutely. Very, very good point. And if someone didn't hear, I'll just quickly repeat it. One of the agents said since COVID, the customer's expectations and needs have changed. And I totally agree with that. And you have to meet them where they are. I've been there where people just want to talk on WhatsApp, right? Or we've hired agents that are on the team that I didn't get their phone number until after their license because everything was done through Instagram or DMs. On messaging on Facebook. So meet the client where they are, because if that's the experience that they want and how they prefer to communicate, you have to accommodate. And to your point, Daryl, which the customers have more access to information than they did 5 years ago. I think part of the experience needs to be educating them on how to process the data. They have access to the data. They have what they feel are comps. They think they know the market. They read an article and they're looking at national data and applying it to Middlesex, Union, Monmouth, Mercer County, which isn't really realistic. Even between Mercer and Essex County could be different, completely different trends. So helping them interpret that, but setting the expectation that you are the expert, but you're here to help them. Like, yes, where did you get that from? Now let's see how it applies to this market versus just shooting them down. Because look at the experience. If I'm a customer, I've done my research. I'm about to write a check for $500,000. I'm writing a check for $500,000, signing away my life for 30 years that I'm committing to making a payment every month. It's a big commitment. And if I've done my research and diligence and I talk to an agent that says, oh, that's just wrong. Is that the right experience for them? No. Even if they are wrong.
You're doing a disservice.
You're doing a disservice. And now they're going to push back. They're not going to be receptive. So you need to really break down and explain and give them real life examples or give them the data that's accurate to the local market. And that's the experience they need. And too often we're just like, oh, that's wrong. Or where'd you get that from? Or that number makes no sense. And that's not the experience. Explain to me why that's wrong, what I should be looking at, where you came up with your facts or where you came up with your data and why that's more relevant than mine. And that's a different experience for me where I'm going to follow you. Now you can lead me. But if you just tell me I'm wrong without any proof, you're not leading me. And that's the disconnect where buyers and sellers go in a different direction. And it comes back to the experience. And I've done this. I actually, I think I picked it up from Suzanne Green many, many years ago, where we changed our listing appointments to being interactive and not just, hey, here's your value. It's let's come to this value together based on the market and let's do this workshop together and go through the process appraisers go through, because now you're not going to say, well, you're wrong, because we came to it together. There's a big difference when you're on a listing appointment and the seller wants 600 and you laugh because the house is worth 5, or you say, just that's impossible, or where'd you get that number from, or you can't, that's not obtainable, versus, hey, let's go through this process together. Let me show you. That's a difference of experience. And you're going to convert by walking them through and explaining it a lot better that way than saying, no, Mr. Ramos, you're way off and the number's here. The delivery and the experience.
Yeah, the experience.
So platinum experience, guys, just put yourself in their shoes. How would you like to be treated in that instance? So it was a quick two paragraph thing I read on Inman, but it really hit home that it's something we tend to get away from, especially as we get busy and we're getting multiple inquiries from different lead sources. And, you know, we have to deliver a lot of bad news sometimes. And now consumers have access to way more data and they don't interpret it the right way. It's our job to walk them through the experience of how, why, and get them to understand that we're here to lead them with their best interest and we're on the same page. But it's walking them through versus just shooting them down sometimes and making the experience a lot better. I'll leave you with this. Both the customer service, but one's a much better experience. You go to the Motel 6, the Holiday Inn, and you say, hey, where's the gym? They're going to tell you, go up the stairs or take the elevator. You make a left and you go down the hall, you make a right, you go through double doors, and then, you know, you go down a mezzanine and it's there. And you're like, okay, you go to the Four Seasons or Ritz-Carlton and, oh, Mr. Lewis, follow me. They're both customer service. They both answered your questions, but there's a way higher level. And that's why people will pay more for the Ritz-Carlton and the Four Seasons. Yeah. So treat your business that way. You'll convert more, you'll generate more income, you'll get more referrals, and you build a bigger business.
Are you giving Motel 8 experience or Ritz-Carlton?
Yeah, yeah. So platinum is better than gold. Gold's good, but let's aim for platinum, guys. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Again, this Thursday, December the 1st in Cranford, we're doing our investor meeting. I host it. Welcome you all to attend. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy selling, everyone.